Welcome to the wonderful world of wine, the tipple of choice for the sophisticated, the cultured, and
the thirsty. Just get on with it, old man.
James, stop being a buffoon. You're not a wine-tasting Philistine anymore. In fact, you're showing all the signs of becoming a wine ponce.
Is it banana-y, or is it peachy, or is it strawberries?
For which I hold you solely responsible. Right, back to business. America has been our home for about a month. We've been travelling through the New World Wine Empire, California, in this modest camper van.
Your shorts are too short.
We should have run them over.
You can get those out of the gene pool.
The aim is to turn me from a wine idiot
I think it's an affront to backers to spit the wine out.
So stop cheating.
to someone who can spit with polite ponce society.
Stop spitting, stop it. We're going to find out why the cool parts of California are perfect for some beautiful bubbly. Hey! He gets a sword.
He gets hammered.
Sod off and leave me alone. And we get told off.
Two English guys of your age behaving like teenage kids is ridiculous.
In Oz and James's Big Wine Adventure, The New World. The Golden Gate Bridge, hit by sunlight for once instead of fog, with a blue sky behind it, is just wonderful. We leave the streets of San Francisco behind us as we travel northwards to a fairly recent but very good vineyard area called Carneros on the shores of San Pablo Bay. It has warmish, dry summers and wettish, cool winters, but above all it's got the fog, keeping the vines cool, all of which is perfectly suited for the production of that old world favourite champagne, or as they call it out here, sparkling wine. Although James is on the fast track to wine ponstum,
This has got a slight hint of Parma Violet in it.
he's about to face his biggest challenge yet.
Which is?
Learning to appreciate bubbles.
Brilliant, Oz. Have you forgotten everything? I hate bubbles.
Our next base could not be more soigné. Calistoga is in the world-famous Napa Valley.
Oz, it all looks a bit posh.
It is. Only the mega-rich can afford to survive here. In Napa Valley, even trailer parks will be deluxe. Luxurious swimming pools, bubbling jacuzzis, health clubs, decadent saunas.
Bad luck.
This looks pretty rudimentary.
No campfires, grey water is not allowed to drain on the ground.
It's miles from the pub, James. It's disgusting. Where's James? James! We can't stay here. Where are you?
Oz,
Yeah?
I thought we'd toss for it.
That's for what?
Emptying the tanks. Emptying the turds down the hole.
Tails.
Tails?
Yes.
No.
God, I feel relieved. You honestly were going to trust me with doing this? You're demented, James.
Oh, and that is the daughter Hades. You ready? I pull this, and you will see that sort of flex and writhe like a python as your number twos shoot down into the great big cesspit.
Like a serpent.
Look at it! Look at it!
It's like a vast serpentine log. It's got a life of its own. We're flushing the alien out into the pipes of Calistoga. It's leaking, James.
It's not.
It is leaking.
Where?
Look.
That is very slightly leaking. Look, I've touched it.
So, on to the first step of James's sparkling wine education. The local supermarket, armed with our wine can, in search of some fizz.
Right.
What does that bottle of wine say?
It says Andre Champagne, California.
Absolutely. And what does this bottle of wine say?
Baroda Estate, 25th anniversary, brut sparkling wine.
So which of these is the more expensive?
Well, I would guess, on experience, champagne would be more expensive than mere sparkling wine.
Thank you very much, James. But you're wrong.
Am I?
That is a wine fact.
What is the wine fact
The
exactly?
wine fact is that although they're not supposed to call their sparkling wine champagne in America, the cheaper people still do, but the expensive people don't.
So, this new world versus old world thing means that everything is back to front. Well, that's going to make life a lot easier.
Napa Valley is not famous for sparkling wine production, but there are one or two wineries looking to give the old world champagne houses a shake-up. One such winery is Schramsberg, a family-run business born and bred in the US of A. Jack and Jamie Davis built Schramsberg up from nothing, and now their youngest son Hugh is at the helm. I can't tell you how pleased I am to be here today, because I've been wanting to come here for a very long time, way back, long before my wine times when I was an actor.
Oh, God, here we go.
And it was Trevor Nunn's birthday. I said, have you got anything local and good? He said, you're lucky, he said. We are the first people in Los Angeles to have a new winery called Schramsberg. Nobody had expected in any way how absolutely fantastic the wine could be. And I realized, and I wasn't a wine guy then, but in the distant sort of recesses of my mind, I thought that was the first great wine I'd ever had from California. And something told me there was a wine revolution starting on the west coast of America.
All right, that's enough.
Unlike normal wine, the sparkling variety undergoes a second fermentation in the bottle. Extra yeast and sugar are added. The yeast ferments the sugar, producing more alcohol and, crucially, carbon dioxide, which in a sealed bottle dissolves in the wine under pressure, producing bubbles. Although Schramsberg is kitted out with the latest in winery technology, one of the most crucial stages in making your bubbly is still done by hand. Riddling is the removal of the yeast, which was responsible for the all-important bubble-producing second fermentation. To do this, the bottles placed at an angle are agitated every day to coax the sediment to the neck of the bottle for removal. And this is done by Ramon the Riddler.
The process here is, it's the light touch, it's the snap of the wrist, it's almost a little bit of a jerk of the bottle, and then you let it settle. Kick it, let it settle, kick it, let it settle.
I can do 48,000, that's my record.
48,000 in a day.
7 hours.
Really?
Bottle turning. Can't be that difficult.
Are you gentlemen ready?
Yes.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Where am I?
It's like Ramon's well up front. Get done.
What do you mean it's done?
No, I don't need
Well, I may have lost to Ramon, but at least I beat Oz.
I would like to show you a unique way, if you will, of opening a bottle. 3.
Wow, that's great. At what point do I admit that I'm not much of a champagne fan?
I think when you've got the saber in your hand.
Nicely
Captain
done.
Hornblower.
Okay.
Clear, I presume.
Can I give it a whack?
Yeah, you can give it a whack. Ah, you need more practice.
At last, having a toy to play with means he's showing a bit of interest.
There you go. Nicely done.
Oh, that's very satisfying.
If you can do it with that saber, you can do it with a knife, which you eat your lunch with. Okay, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1.
Very good. Was that with the blunt edge as well?
Nearly everyone I know loves champagne. Everyone, that is, except for James May. But perhaps Hugh's quality New World fizz will be able to turn him round.
Sort of fresh baking bread.
Good
type.
point.
Yeah, nice. And that comes
Good
from
tasting.
the contact with the yeast in the bottle.
So far, so good.
I'm the only person in the world who gets miserable when I drink champagne.
Thank you for coming.
No,
Bye-bye.
pleasure. I think bubbles change the flavour. They introduce carbon
That's
dioxide,
quite
and
different.
oxygen, and all those
I
things.
agree with that. You didn't say that. You said bubbles taste.
Well, they do taste.
Bubbles change the flavour, exactly, because that carbon dioxide makes it completely different the way the flavours are carried up
Right.
to your nasal cavity. You must have been an impossible person to argue with at school. I'm so glad I wasn't either in a class with you or trying to teach you anything.
What you're missing.
Oh, another glass finished.
No, but what
Why?
you're missing-
Hi, Hugh, let's give him some more fizz. The good thing about what James does in there is that he speaks his mind.
The taste of bubbles. That's what it
What's
is.
your language, James?
I think it's a good drink spoiled.
It's not the right one for you, because you're talking about vanilla cream. Well, that was a day wasted.
I don't like bubbly Oz.
You drank enough of it.
I wanted to be sure I didn't like it.
Fathead. I think it's clear from yesterday's antics that we need a break from the bubbles. It's about time I reined in my unruly student. Kick me out then.
There's a button here somewhere.
If there's an ejection seat, you'd do it, wouldn't
I
you?
can do this.
What's that then? Oh Lord, it doesn't help. It's actually just made my life marginally easier.
You've actually got a button to do that yourself if you want.
I know. I want to take James to the Newton Winery. It's run by one of my old chums, Suhwa. Pushing me over. Leave me alone. This is James.
Hello, James. Nice to meet you.
Suhwa's a professor, a clinical psychologist. She won't stand for any of James's tomfoolery, and if anyone can teach James a lesson in manners, she can. Let's go look at a vineyard. He likes vineyards.
Really? Shall we roll him down the hill?
This mountainside is a real challenge, but it has a cool climate, perfect for growing Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Petit Verdot. Suhwa, you are a woman of your word. This is actually pretty cool up here. Now, how high are we up here above the valley floor?
1400.
And is the coolness surely something to do with the cold wind that blows off the the Pacific Ocean, filling up the valley, the hot air further inland having risen up and created a small vacuum that pulls it in, along with occasionally some fog, which helps to cool the grapes and slow the ripening process?
He's not as silly as he looks.
Oh, don't fall for it, Suhwa, please. Now, let's see how he copes with a gadget designed to predict the alcohol content of the wine from the sugar content of the grapes. What level of alcohol do you think those grapes are at?
They are Merlot grapes, so I think this is going to be more 13. And it is 13 and a half. Now let's try it out on the old dog.
You had it upside down. You still have it upside down.
Like this?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't know like this. I mean, I'm bending over backwards to see this standing. Basically, I've got my eyelid in it. I think it's ridiculous.
It's very easy. It's just that Oz is Oz.
Despite the odd bit of technology, some of Suhwa's methods are refreshingly old school.
So if you really want to understand what kind of wine you're going to get out of these grapes, you squeeze it like this. See? You get rid of all the juice. And then you just have the skin and you chew the skin. Try it.
And this way, she knows what the wine will taste like and when to harvest the grapes.
Is it Pinot Noir?
Well, taste it and you will know what it is. Don't guess.
It's a slightly earthy kind of character.
Syrah.
No.
Cold tea.
Yes. You're very close because of the tannin.
Taste of wood.
How could it taste of wood? That does not make sense. And I begin to think you were intelligent.
I think you've met your match, Mr. May.
Well, hang on, Oz. I haven't had a drink yet.
What difference will that make?
It'll make me witty and charming.
Of course. Silly me.
That's the section through a tree. Yes? If you have a tangent cut plank, it's effectively cut that way.
There's
So
no
that
such thing. I'm sorry. They all come in staves 4 by 4 by meter.
Cut from a tree.
I don't think we are going to convince this guy. Let's move on.
Honestly, you see the trouble I have?
Because you're starting to use our wine holiday, no disrespect to you, but as an excuse to look up your old girlfriends from when you were in France 20 years ago.
Well, it's all, James. We're just trying to actually get it. I mean, there's a reasonable chance to come and see
I
someone.
right?
Both of you are
50
like two
feet-
miserable kids. Let's be serious for 2 minutes. I'm sorry I have to be the professor because at a certain point, two English guys of your age behaving like teenage kids is ridiculous.
The planks are cut lengthways.
This way, not that way.
Yes, but going that way, you can go like that.
I'm not sure if this plan is working. He's getting idiotically belligerent.
Any woodworker listening to that will know what I was on about.
Anyone else think you're a cretin? Now, for the ultimate test, can James behave himself during the tasting?
There is a Chinese saying which is rather fun. Don't throw pearls at pigs, and I don't understand why I am giving you one of this glass. I can see why I give it to us. So us, we taste this, and I mean taste.
This is a 17-year-old Chardonnay. This is the rarest white wine he's going to taste.
I can see your Adam's apple going up and down. You're cheating.
Not cheating, I'm drinking it.
Stop cheating. See, he's cheating again. He
It's
swallowed
not
it.
cheating, this is where I enjoy it. I
See?
can't give you an opinion
See?
unless I swallow it.
Us. Okay. Here's some cashew nuts.
And in fact, if you want to cleanse your palate, uncooked cashew nuts are good for it. That's good wine too.
People really would think you were a bit of a wine ponce, though, if they came round to your house and you said, would you like a drink of wine? Would you like some cashew nuts first to
What
cleanse
does
your
it
palate?
matter what people think of you?
They think you're a wine ponce. That's quite serious.
Really? Why?
Because being a wine ponce is unacceptable. Complimentary that. Love your book about. Suha clearly thinks that Oz can be saved, so she whisks him away. He's been gone for 45 minutes now, and I've no idea what he's up to, but I think it's a bit rich leaving me on my own with this selection of virtually unobtainable and priceless wines. Have you tasted this? Probably not.
Are you proud of yourself?
For what?
I'm pissed.
So what?
Because
You've left me
upset.
She's not upset.
To finish a whole bottle of the most expensive wine in the place.
Look how many of the cashew nuts have
Oh,
been.
leave it out. We leave you alone for 15
you
minutes and you get hammered. I just wish sometimes I could take him to see some of my really nice friends and he could behave himself and be nice. If Suwa can't tame him, nobody can. Maybe Schramsberg and Newton were a bit upmarket for James. So the next day I take James to see a more down-to-earth side of the wine world. Will this relight his fire? The wind in the hills, the fog rolling in off the sea, and the lower temperatures are all perfect conditions for sparkling wine production. And with an abundance of top wineries, Carneros does appear to have it all, but everything has to start somewhere. A few rugged, down-to-earth pioneers helped make Carneros the prime vineyard it is today. Every Friday, they get together to play bocce, which is basically the Italian version of boule, and my good friend Kent Rasmussen is a major player. He is not a rich, poncy bloke with 500 acres on the, and a sort of silly French chateau on the top of a mountain. He's a real person. He does have some slightly funny trousers. He's got funnier ones, I can actually promise you. But Kent grows the oldest Pinot Noir vines in the region.
So you're a real man of the soil. You're not a champagne farmer, so to speak.
I like to think myself that way, yeah.
Are you ever tempted to sell up because you must be sitting on a fortune?
No, I don't think so. No.
Well, good for you.
So. I enjoy what I do. It's a good lifestyle.
Pinot Noir is used for sparkling wine, but Kent prefers to make red wine from it. And I know James prefers red wine to fizz, so give James that.
What is that?
That is it.
So this is a straight Pinot Noir.
This is a straight Pinot Noir.
Good, eh, sir?
It is. It's got a slight
James,
graveliness to it.
I don't know whether this is something that you're just trying to impress Kent or me with. I've been trying for weeks to make you spit wine out.
I need a break. We drink wine 2 or 3 times a day. I spend half my time lying on the deck, not even knowing which country I'm in, and it's not healthy, and it's not the right message either.
That I'm almost slightly appalled that you should be spitting out my friend Kent's wine. I can't get used to this, James. Stop spitting. Stop it.
Actually, viewers, I haven't turned into a wine ponce. I'm actually doing this for Oz. Would you mind awfully if I left you to it for a bit? Sorry, Ken, but my guts have been...
Are you serious?
Yeah. I just think I need to go and spend some time indoors.
It's coming up well. I give up. But with James out of the picture and the bubbly education pretty much down the pan, I can relax. And you know what? I'm going to have some fun. Bring a bottle with you, though. I don't want to be dry when I get there.
Okay.
Bring that stuff. Okay, where are we? It's wimpy. I felt it. What is... Hey.
So 1, 2, 3, take my hand and come with me because you look so fine.
You see, Oz has never quite got over his disappointment at being in the camper van when what he was really hoping for was a Mustang. So I've hired him one.
Yes. One for you, James. You wimp. Too hard. Too hard.
So we have another guest with us for the rest of this wine trail, the Stang. But I'm not sure Oz will actually be in the mood for it today.
Unfortunately, the renowned wine critic and arbiter of public taste, TV's Oz Clarke, got quite badly clattered last night, which gives me an opportunity to present him with another challenge. It's a hangover cure tasting session.
It smells disgusting.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was an awful noise, wasn't it?
You could sod off and leave me alone.
Our first tasting is our old favourite, fried spam and onion with baked beans. Unfortunately, it is made with American spam, which is sweet.
Well, the only reason this would help my hangover is so damn hot, it's actually burning holes in my tongue. I'll give it 11 out of 100.
Oz.
I'm doing my exercises.
I can see out your dressing gown, do you mind? Right, number 2 is leftover dried pasta with cheesy sauce with added pepper and mustard.
I'm going to give this one 74 points out of 100.
Finally, tinned sardines in olive oil, mashed up with black pepper and a spoonful of salad cream, served on crisped American rye toast and lightly finished off under the grill. Oily fish, good for you, brain food. First impressions, the effect it's having on your thick head.
Hot again. I'm going to give this one 46 points out of 100.
So, the conclusion to that, leftover pasta and cheese sauce with mustard powder is the best hangover cure. There you go. That is a wine-drinking fact.
Best hangover cure. Poppycock. Tomato juice. Worcester sauce. Tabasco. Nice cold vodka. Egg yolk in there. The hair of the dog. Down in one. I tell you, that is a hangover cure.
Come on then.
No, Oz.
You'll like it.
I think you'll find this is.
2 more steps.
Okay.
Turn left. Left, you fool. And open.
It's a Mustang. Fantastic.
Riding along an automobile.
This is a great treat. I'm delighted.
I thought you'd like it. You did say when we first met up, oh, have you brought a Mustang? And I hadn't, and I felt a bit guilty, so I went and got one.
Not for me. Isn't it ironic? With the bubbles out of the equation, we get on just fine.
Indeed.
But I'm afraid it's time we brought the bubbles back. In the 1970s, Claude Taittinger, the French champagne mogul, staked his claim for Californian gold with Domaine Carneros. The boss here is Eileen Crane.
We don't try to compare ourselves to French champagne. Imitations are never as good as originals. So what we are trying to do is make a Carneros original.
This wine powerhouse saw the fizz potential in Carneros before anybody else.
The climate in the Carneros is actually, during the growing season, a little bit cooler than Burgundy and a little warmer than Champagne. It's kind of like a vintage year in Champagne.
It's her single-minded vision and obsession with Pinot Noir and Chardonnay grapes that has made Domaine Carneros a tourist hotspot and the place to chill out in Carneros.
So you are an absolute avowed bubble person.
Well, I think it's just hard to be sad when you're drinking champagne, don't you think?
I don't really like bubbly wine. I know what you're going to say. You'll say, well, you will when you taste this. But I struggle with bubbles, I'm sorry.
In order for James to appreciate bubbles, I think we need to go back to basics. We're about to try the juice of the grapes that have just been brought in from the vineyards. This is the start of it all. This grape juice will become sparkling wine.
This is brand new Chardonnay juice.
Was it Bramley apple juice?
Well, I like Chardonnay juice.
Well, next we've got Chardonnay juice that has just finished the first fermentation process, so it's 8-day-old wine.
It is the 07 vintage.
Wow.
Yeah. You see, that's the thing about the wine you make sparkling wine out of rather than wine you make table wine out of. It's got to be more acid, so you pick the grapes when they're less ripe for sparkling wine.
So you get less sugar that way as well.
Less sugar, but you also get more acidity.
If you allowed the grapes to get fully ripe, the alcohol in that wine would be too high to undergo a secondary fermentation in the bottle. And yet, we need to imagine what this wine will taste like 6, 7, or 8 years down the road.
Okay, here's a wine challenge of sorts. This new Chardonnay is, I think we would agree, the sharpest thing in the world. If I can drink a whole glass of that without pulling a face, will you buy me a bottle of Madame's Pinot Noir?
Another of James's idiot challenges.
Okay.
You wimp!
Let's move on to the real stuff then.
Okay, I've failed. But how will the wine maestro fare?
Okay, you're allowed to laugh, but you can't pull a bulldog chewing a nettle face. You're on the verge. You can't do it.
If it's any consolation, as a winemaker, I take 2 or 3 sips and spit, so...
Now it's time we tickled our taste buds with a drop or two of the good stuff. But will it be enough to turn James round?
So, here we have the 2001 Lorette. This is all Chardonnay.
Have you had someone going down there with a little knife and making a tiny little thing in the bottom of your glass?
They all come scratched.
Because that means that the bubbles have got somewhere to start. That's why you get this lovely twirling pattern. That's a bubbly wine fact.
Is it banana-y, or is it peachy, or is it strawberries? I don't know.
See, I'm getting nuts and cream off it. Champagne is rather elegant and lean. In California, for some reason, it's often the other way around. Chardonnay's the one that gives you round, plump flavours, and the Pinot Noir is leaner.
I quite like this.
Hallelujah! There's hope for him yet.
The other sparkling wine that you get in that other country across the channel is often quite sort of dry and bready almost in texture, but this is genuinely fruity. We're probably far enough into the series now to give another very salient wine fact, which is that expensive wine tastes better than cheap wine, doesn't it? It's not a myth.
You'd better be careful, James. You're in danger of becoming my next Poncy wine friend.
Sort of fresh baking bread.
Good
type.
point.
Yeah, nice.
I like the Chardonnay very much as well for its slightly raw and feral quality.
What I'm actually doing, Oz, is exploiting your good reputation to get a free drink. Haven't you worked it out? Anyway, next time you join us, we'll be heading to Sonoma, the birthplace of American wine.
We meet a backyard Bahamian winemaker.
Doesn't actually say on here what it is.
Well, of course it doesn't. So I don't know what it is.
We get back to nature, Californian style.
This is a bug factory.
This is a first-class buggery here.
And we meet my new Poncy wine friend.
This is changing in the glass.
How about that?
If you found Oz particularly annoying this week, for Pete's sake, don't log on to bbc.co.uk/food. He's on there as well.
Hot stuff next, hunting down the ultimate chili con carne in the USA, and back home in Berkshire, a searing experiment as a volunteer tests out the world's hottest chilies. Heston Blumenthal in search of perfection in a moment. Then BBC Two cools things down with Earth, the power of the planet. Quick peek at that next.